Women consist of a little over 50% of America's population, but in this current session of Congress, they only hold 111 of the 535 seats. And in the incoming Congress that was just elected, they will only hold 118 of 535 seats. Now, 118 is a new record for women, but it still wholly underrepresents women in our government. So many women ran this year because of the president, how he speaks about women, and the Me Too movement as a whole, and how big an issue sexual harassment has become in this country. Thus, this past election will be dubbed the Year of the Woman, like 1992 was before it, because of how many women ran, how many won, and how the woman vote affected that outcome. The 1992 presidential and congressional elections came on the heels of the Anita Hill testimony. Anita Hill testified that Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas had sexually harassed her while they both worked at the Department of Education. And she herself was harassed and demeaned by the Senate Judiciary Committee, which caused outrage by many women in the country. Many people saw that the all-male Judiciary Committee disregarded her entire story and attempted to attack her for political gains. And thus, in the following election, a record 24 women were elected to the House of Representatives, and 3 more were elected to the Senate. 2 of those senators are still in the Senate today, Dianne Feinstein of California and Patty Murray of Washington. Both are very senior ranking members in the Senate today. Dianne Feinstein is the ranking member of the Judiciary Committee, and Patty Murray is the third highest ranking member, or the third highest ranking Democrat in the entire Senate. The elections that year, while it seem like a small number for women today, it was instrumental in paving the way for the increase in women elected to Congress that we have seen in the 26 years since. The 2018 election saw a record number of women run for Congress. 256 women ran for Congress this year, and 118 of them won, both records. However, the records don't stop there when it comes to women's victories in this past election. This election saw the first 2 Native American women elected to Congress. It saw the first 2 Muslim American women elected to Congress. It saw the first 2 Latina women from Texas elected to Congress. It saw the first Black woman from Massachusetts elected to Congress. It saw the first Black woman from Connecticut elected to Congress, and it saw the youngest ever female elected to Congress all this year, along with numerous female governors and the first female senator from Arizona and Tennessee. Women have become much more politically active than they have ever been in the recent years, partially because of the president and the rhetoric surrounding women, the Me Too movement, and sexual harassment. And that activism showed in the day after President Trump's inauguration in the Women's March, where over 1 million people, mostly women, marched on Washington, and millions more around the world marched to express their contempt and disapproval of not only the president, but how women have been treated historically in this country. And that outrage expressed on January 21st, 2017, translated into votes in 2018. Women were a driving force behind electing all of these women candidates. Most of the women who ran and who won were Democrats, and 60% of all women in 2018 voted for Democrats, which helped give many of these women candidates who are running in difficult districts, helped give them the edge. And that activism and anger that is built up over so many years of such a lack of representation, and still lack of representation, boiled over and gave them this victory. While it's still troubling times for women, and the past few years have been painful for many, especially survivors of sexual harassment, this past election has been a glimmer of hope for women as they see the immense electoral power that they wield. They are the largest voting bloc in this country, and when they vote as a whole, or as a overwhelming majority like they did in 2018, they can enact the change and elect the leaders that they wish to see and they think will best serve their interests.